I would put Justin Gaethje against Paddy Pimblett. I get the title, and you put me against Paddy, because I think that he's gonna.
You think Paddy's gonna beat Justin Gaethje?
Easy.
Wow. Really easy?
Yeah, easy.
Really easy?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a crazy thing to say, because Justin Gaethje's a fucking animal.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to grapple, and Paddy knows.
But he's a Division I wrestler. He knows how to grapple.
Did you ever saw him submitting someone?
I don't believe he's ever submitted someone.
If you have the ability to submit someone as soon as you can, you would do it.
All I'm trying to say is, take that Justin Gaethje fight. This version of Paddy Pimblett beats Justin Gaethje.
I know.
Does anyone disagree? Take that Gaethje fight and stamp your ticket to a title shot. The Arman fight is a lot tougher. I'm not saying he can't win that fight, but Arman right now is way tougher in my opinion than Justin Gaethje.
Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje. How does it go? Everyone thinks they're doing it. Justin Gaethje kills him. I don't know if he does. It's a different fight because Justin Gaethje's big too. Justin Gaethje's walk around at 180, 185, another Division I wrestler. But again, that just shows you. Paddy Pimblett will shoot on a Division I wrestler. He doesn't mind. That's a closer fight than people think. Charles Oliveira. Damn, that's another sweet fight. That's a huge fight. That's a huge fight. Arman Sarukian. I think Arman might be too much for Paddy. He might be. He's just Arman is elite right now. His time wasn't in the past. His time is right now. So I would say Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Who doesn't want to see it? Who doesn't want to see it?
And here's the poll results for today. On the heels of the win, who do you predict will be next for the lightweight contender, Paddy Pimblett? 35% of you predicted Charles Oliveira. 28% said Justin Gaethje. 26% said Arman Sarukian. 11% said Dustin Poirier. All of those fights dangerous in their own right. But Paddy Pimblett, to me, right? The ease with which he calls somebody a fucking helmet, man, in a post-fight interview, to me, is just, I am absolutely captivated by the man's every move, and I can't wait to see him against your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, Charles Oliveira, or your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, Dustin Poirier, or your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, Justin Gaethje.
Here's the thing about Paddy Pimblett. Now, this is my thought, and I'm thinking more, Chael, from a organizational type of thought. Sometimes you got to kind of maneuver the athlete to the peak. I don't know that Paddy needs that, but I'm being smart here as an organization. I do get him one of the big names. I get him Justin, Dustin. I don't think Dustin will be around. I think Dustin was kind of trying to tell us it's almost done. He won't be around past July or whenever he's going to fight. But Justin Gaethje would be great.
I think that would be the ultimate acid test of, are you really ready for a title shot? Because no one really comes away from a Justin Gaethje fight without getting hit, getting hurt. He's a horrible, horrible fighter. I think Paddy's ground game gives him an edge on most fighters.
I like seeing guys have to adjust and change their games and change their approaches. And this is meant with absolutely no disrespect to Justin Gaethje. I see him every Friday at sparring, so I don't need him to beat the hell out of me. But I feel like Justin Gaethje is a better, more advanced version of what Michael Chandler is. He's got big power in his hands. He'll throw big overhands. Good explosions. Great wrestler. I think a guy like Charles Oliveira is really going to force Paddy to have to level up because he's dangerous on his feet. He carries a lot of power. He's been more defensively responsible lately, and I don't think that Paddy Pimblett's going to go out there and just out-grapple Charles Oliveira safely. He's too dangerous. He's got a great submission threat. If we're really trying to answer questions, let's create some more. And my question is, can he handle a guy like Charles Oliveira? I don't know, but I'd watch.
Same thing I said on the broadcast, bro. I don't want to keep saying the same type of stuff over and over again, but the guy was a prospect. Now he's a contender. I mean, you have to take him for real now. He's next fight, not as if Chandler wasn't a big fight, but his next fight has to be a really big one, like a Gamrot, Arman, Oliveira. I'm already behind the scenes. I've got stuff, so I can't entertain that, and I'm only fighting one more time. But for me as a fan, put him in there with Dan Hooker. That would be an incredible fight. You know, that's a fun fight. The build-up's going to be fun. Dan's going to stand and trade with him. Dan has good takedown defense, good on the ground. That's the fight, I think.
Yeah, I feel like Paddy's going to get something bigger than Hooker, if I'm honest. And that's in no way, shape or form leveling any kind of disrespect at Dan Hooker. The man's a legend in his own right. I just feel like one of the names that he called out, more importantly, I feel like Charles Oliveira. I feel like the matchup makes a lot of sense. Talking about the submissions and him being the submission master, you know, having all the records, you know, and that was a good soundbite. That was a good way to further entice people to see the matchup. And of course, if he beats Charles Oliveira, you fight for the belt.
You beat any of those people, you fight for a belt.
You know, all those guys he called out straight afterwards. Unreal. I want to see him fight Arman. I think Oliveira's a good fight for him.
Yeah.
Better fight than Arman.
Yeah.
I want to see Arman. I loved how he called him a helmet. I'm so for that fight, dude. I want to, and I think Arman's the right decision because, especially if you're like to fight against Makhachev, you need to be working against somebody it's such a good segue into fighting Makhachev, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, beating Arman gets him that fight with Makhachev. Like he's potentially one fight away from fighting for the title.
Arman Tsarukyan's not going to fight him. I would try to find him in there with Charles Oliveira. Let me tell you why. Because matchup-wise, I think it's a decent matchup for Paddy. I think it's a good matchup in terms of if he can win, what it would do for him. But more than anything, Charles Oliveira, sure. But for me, it's about buying time for Paddy Pimblett. Hear me out, Joe. Islam Makhachev would be a nightmare of a matchup for just about anyone. Time is your friend with Paddy Pimblett because if Bilal Muhammad does not get the job done, Islam says he's going up, right? The moment Islam's gone, put him in a title fight. Whoever he's fighting, put him in a title fight. I'm not saying Paddy Pimblett cannot fight and beat Islam. I'm saying if there's anyone in that weight class that's a real life problem, it's the champion. So if it's Ilya, if it's Charles, whoever it is, if Islam goes up, that's who fights against Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, I think that's the fight. I think that's the fight to be made. I think that Paddy also really is super confident in his jiu-jitsu and wants to test the jiu-jitsu of Charles Oliveira. I think he's got to be careful on the feet. I think that's where Oliveira will be more dangerous, I think. But I think Paddy feels that he's got the takedown game to put Oliveira on his back. And as good as Oliveira is on the ground, to me, I think Oliveira is best when he gets top position. He has shown certain vulnerabilities when he's on his back. I think Paddy believes he can take him there.
Hats off to Paddy the Baddy. I mean, this man has been going in there. And listen, not the most polished striking. I mean, still making a lot of errors. He's still very green, but he makes up for it with his grappling. His grappling is definitely a really, really top level. When he gets on top of you, he wears guys out. I normally would, because I'm so merit based as far as what you've done, but you're right. It is an entertainment company, and with all the noise that Paddy now has been in the UFC for what, over 3-4 years, right? Correct?
Yeah.
At first I was saying, you know what, let's build him. UFC have done a good job building him, giving him the fights kind of at his level to kind of move him up. But when you go out there and you dominate a guy like that, like Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's a former world champion. Michael Chandler's been in there, fought for the UFC title, and was seconds away from winning it. When you fight a guy like that and you go out there and you dominate them, that gives you immense confidence. So it's such immense confidence to where he's calling out Charles Oliveira, who I think Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan, and these guys, Dustin, I think these guys are legit.
I think if it's a Gaethje or if it's a Charles, he goes right in after that. If he beats one of those guys with the star power that he has, and I think John Anik even on the broadcast said, not since Conor McGregor have we seen somebody with this kind of pull with the crowd and with the masses around the world. And it's a very similar rise where everyone said the same things criticizing Conor along the way, where it's like, oh, well, yeah, of course you beat that. And then they give another guy a little higher up and he beats that guy. And you get the ranked guys. And then he finally gets in there with Jose Aldo and he knocks him out cold and within the first few seconds of the fight. I mean, he's on a similar trajectory